clap. You can clap for your dad. Thanks, John. First, I would just like to thank Amy, Kenneth, and the rest of your family, John, for the opportunity to sit in front of you last Thursday and share my vision with you guys about leading this team to the next level. I want to thank you. I want to thank Mr. McNair and his wife Janice and the Houston Texans for their support that they showed us and my family. They're great people. They're great owners. Lucky to have worked for them. After Amy called me Saturday, I called Mr. McNair. He was proud of me and he was happy, and he said, I'm going to root for you except for 2 times a year. So I told him I'd do the same thing. I'd like to thank Bill O'Brien for giving me the opportunity to come to the National Football League. I'd like to thank my wife, Jen, my boys, Tyler and Carter. It's not easy, supporting boys that love football and dads that coach football and play football. They've been around the NFL locker room since they've been born. I'm not proud to say this, but I'm just going to tell you about my wife. She gave birth to Carter. I missed it. I was at practice. She was in Ohio. He came early. He flipped. They had to take her, and I showed up 4 hours late, because I was playing football, and she was having a baby. So I love her to death. She's been through a lot, and she understands this league. She challenged me to get into the NFL after spending some time at Ohio State. I'd like to thank my parents. They raised an only child who had everything he wanted. My dad instilled toughness and a teamwork and a value of teamwork and being self-motivated. So I thank him, and I think he's proud. So with that, I'll take any questions. I'd love to talk about our team, talk about our vision, where we're going, and go from there.
Mike, what is your vision as head coach of this football team?
Well, John and I share a lot of alignment and loyalty in finding the right types of players. We talk about the right 53, not the best 53. So when you talk about a vision, we want a big, fast, strong, smart football team. That's discipline. I think when you talk about discipline, not jumping off sides late in the game. When you're disciplined, you're able to take advantage of the other team's mistakes. And we won't make critical mistakes. We're going to do everything we can not to make critical mistakes. So, we're going to try to be as a disciplined football team as we possibly can.
How's your vision for Marcus Mariota? How important is your relationship with the GM?
Well, when I sat down and the first question they asked me, I don't even remember what it was, but I know that I answered it, that John and I's relationship is going to set the standard and the tone for the entire organization. And that relationship will be built on, obviously alignment and loyalty and trust and mutual respect. We're going to disagree on players. We're going to disagree on things. And at the end of the day, somebody's got to make a decision and move on. But I said that will be the most critical relationship in the building. When we walk out of his office or we walk out of my office and we walk down the hallway, people are going to look and they're going to notice what's going on with Mike and John. Like, are they together? Are they, and we are going to lead my staff, his staff, and the entire building with that in mind.
What's your vision for Marcus Mariota?
Yeah. I'm able to talk to Marcus last night. Again, just trying to sit down with dinner last night with my family. Jen drove over from Houston, and Marcus called and returned my call. And I was like, sorry, guys, you're going to take another back seat to the quarterback, so I'm going to take this one. And so the vision is that we're going to do things that are going to help them. We're going to put guys around them that are going to help them. We're going to get them to play with confidence. We're going to get them to play energetic and bring the passion of football out that he's so capable of showing. That's my idea for him. And there's not going to be a greater relationship that I need to foster and develop than the one with our starting quarterback.
Would he have any say in, or would you like him to meet with your coordinator candidates before you make a decision?
I've got a lot of respect for guys in this league, but we're not going to go down that path. That's not something that we're going to do. That's not something that I believe in. Certainly would like to get their feedback and understanding. And this is a trust process. There's coaches in this league and there's players, and I think that Amy's going to trust me to hire the right guy for Marcus. John's going to trust me to hire the right guy for Marcus, or I wouldn't have been hired.
What did you think of how the Titans utilized Marcus's skill set in the past few years?
With all due respect, anything that happened in any games that they won or lost, we're moving forward. We're going forward. I know Mike Mularkey. Mike Mularkey was a tight end coach at Pittsburgh when I got drafted there, and I've known Mike for a lot of years. A lot of great coaches, a lot of great players, but our focus is going to be going forward.
What's your past experience with Coach Belichick, Coach Cowher, O'Brien, Urban Meyer show up in what you do?
I don't know. I've been lucky, and I shared that in the interview process. Whether it be by fate or luck or chance, to be around some of the greatest coaches that will have ever coached. Was able to be drafted by Pittsburgh and learn the toughness and what it meant, the importance of special teams, and just that Western PA attitude from Bill Cowher, and taking a free agent trip to New England and changed my life. My free agent bonus in New England was less than my rookie free agent, my rookie signing bonus. So that tells you anything. It wasn't very much, but I learned so much from Bill. But I'm not Bill, and I'm not Bill Cowher, and I got to coach under Urban Meyer and learn so much, the importance of teaching. And we have a young league, and we're going to have a young team, and to teach these guys the right way and developing and making them better. And I'm not Urban, but I'm going to take a lot from him. And I've been able to be in Houston with Bill O'Brien, so I'm lucky to go through basically, a doctorate degree of coaching with the people that I've been around.
As defensive guy, how much say-so will you have on what type of defense?
All says. I'm the head coach.
No, and I'm talking about as far as calling defensive plays.
Yeah,
and
I'm the head coach. I can call whatever play I want, right? That's the idea that, we're going to have a coordinator. We're going to have a co-offensive coordinator. We're going to have a special teams coordinator. If I say I want to block a punt, we're going to block a punt. And if I want to, if I want to throw a shot, we're going to throw a shot. That's what goes with sitting in that seat. And then you got to answer to those questions. You want to blitz and they score a touchdown, like we did in the Super Bowl and lost the game. We're in New England and we blitzed and they completed it and lost the game. Somebody's got to stand up and, it's what you do. You got to take, you have to, here's what you do. Here's my job is going to be to accept responsibility, right? Give credit and be decisive. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I told Amy and John I'm going to do.
So, Mike, with your doctorate in coaching, you feel ready for your first time as head coach on the team?
And I don't think anybody's ever ready. And I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not going to make too many of them. And I'm not going to make the same mistake twice.
Coach, if at all, how far along are you in putting together your staff, and what is your timetable?
Yeah, I don't want to put a timetable on it because I want the right guys. And John and I are working through it. And there's a lot of guys out there that I want to coach and I want to have a part of the Titans moving forward. But nothing really to report on that end. But that we're in the process of bringing the best guys in here, just like we do with players. We're not going to rush into decisions. We're going to sleep on things, and we're going to get the right guys in here for our team.
What do you do to sell yourself, sorry? What do you
Go ahead. You've been dying back there. Every time you get blocked out.
How much did you study, Marcus, before you accepted this job? Did you have to feel like I have a franchise quarterback to take the job?
No, because there's different. There's going to be ways. He may or may not play every single game. there's ways to win games in this league without a franchise quarterback. We've got one, and we're going to develop them. And, so I don't think that that's a critical factor. I think what it is it's got to be the right fit. You have to sit down with the owner. Told Amy, I said when I left, I wanted to give her a hug, but I didn't think it was appropriate. And when she said, well, when you come back here, then you can give me a hug. But there was just a connection there. Then it's got to fit with the general manager and the town, the city. That's got to be right for your family. So there's a lot of factors that go into taking a job.
What were your thoughts of Marcus when you schemed against him as the Texans DC?
One more time, I'm sorry.
What were your thoughts of Marcus when you schemed against him?
We were scared to death. He pulled a football on Jadeveon Clowney and ran 40 yards. And thank God he pulled his hamstring running 40 yards. That game wouldn't have been what it was that day in Houston. So he's a special talent. He's a special kid, and I can't wait to work with him and help him through, taking that next step in his career. But you get a quarterback that pulls it on JD, you better have some cojones, because JD normally swallows those guys up.
You spoke about talking to Marcus last night. Before April and the official start of the offseason, to what degree are you able to be in contact with guys?
Limited, like normal conversation. I think there's rules in place that we're not allowed to talk about. There's certain things that we can't talk about, and there's certain things that we can. And I've seen a few players in the building already, and that's going to be important to me, that these guys are able to figure out who I am. It was pretty cool. Like Taylor Wan said, hey, I've been following your son. He looked at Tyler. He's like, I've seen those huddle highlights. And, that's pretty cool. They play the same position. And I know that, Tyler watches him and watches how he plays. And so I've always wanted my kids to be around good locker rooms, whether that be in New England or when I was playing or here as a coach, because I want them to see what good players look like, but better husbands and better fathers and better teammates. So it's important to me that we get great guys in here, and we go from there.
In your opinion, what does it take to set the tone in that locker room and get everybody behind you?
Well, I don't think I have to go ahead and do anything special. When I stand in front of these guys on April 2nd and they look at their head coach, I will have been every single one of those players in those seats. I will have been the rookie that got drafted, that was having a tough time, that maybe wasn't developing as fast as the coaches would have liked. I will have been the core special teams player. I would have been a starting linebacker that was expected to make some plays because he was a high-priced player. I'll have been the aging veteran that needed to be a great leader, or I'll have been a team captain. So I'm going to have a great opportunity to share my story and what I've been through with each one of those players. And so I'm not going to do anything special. I'm just going to tell them who I am and say, where are you at in your career? Here's where we need to make you better. Here's what I see. This is what you do well. This is what you don't do well. And we're gonna work together to fix whatever you don't do well.
You lived that arc as a player, but as a coach, you're still really young. Do you feel like you need like a grizzled veteran on your staff?
I don't want to put stereotypes on the guys that I have. I'm not going to put the staff together like saying that I have to have a guy that they're going to be great teachers. They're going to have passion and energy for football, for making players better. I believe that players are more important than plays. And it's always going to be about that. It's never going to be about the scheme. Well, another thing I told Amy, said my job is going to make sure that the players know what to do and that they play fast and aggressive. And if we go into games and we're not sure of things, then it's my job as a head coach to take them out and say they don't know it, they can't play fast and aggressive. Because when that situation, 4th down yesterday, and somebody's got to make a play, I'm pretty sure that Stephon Gilmore knew what to do, and he played fast and aggressive, and he was able to make the play to win the game and put his team in the Super Bowl.
Are you a 3-4 team out of the gate?
What we are is we are going to work, and I have a philosophy defensively that we're going to have coverage consistency, and we're going to have front multiplicity. And so we have great players. We're going to introduce our coverage concepts to them. That's going to remain consistent throughout what we do. And then we're going to have guys up front that may be geared towards an under defense, over defense, 3 down, 5 down. We're going to have a lot of multiplicity in our front. So it's coverage, consistency, front multiplicity.
How important is coaching experience in your opinion?
I think that the right experience is important. I don't think that just experience is good. I mean, I think the guys that have been coaching 2 or 3 years could be just as good as a coach that has been coaching 30 years. I'm not really sure. I want the right guys who've been through some battles that are loyal. And so maybe those guys have been around 30 years. Some of those guys are young coaches that you have faith in, that you want to develop and have a part of your staff.